today I'm going to be getting this bed ready, scrape some of this mustard up so it can be composted underneath. There's not much there. I was going to cover crop it for the winter. I decided that I was going to use this bed to plant onions. So I'm going to cut up what mustard's there. I got some mushroom compost to put on top of it. And then we'll get some drip tape down and set up some irrigation and plant some onions. Although there's not much there, mustard acts as a biofumigant. I believe it fights against bad nematodes, if I'm correct there. But it helps for soil-borne pathogens. There's not much there, but the goal was to grow a cover crop of it there, chop it up for springtime planting. But I've got to clean up the strawberry bed. The bed I grew onions in last year, that needs to be cleaned up. I'm going to take that apart, get that old cloth fabric out of there. It didn't do good. Bermuda grass overtook it pretty quick. And then eventually this whole section will be part of the big plot. Maybe except for the strawberries. It depends on how this next season goes. I might make a completely different bed for that. Above ground, not ground level, that I don't have to fight Bermuda grass in. But we'll see how it goes. I picked up a load of mushroom compost to layer this spot up quite a bit for our onions, give it some fresh compost, some loose soil to grow in. Mix it up and mix it in a little bit. I'll probably do 5 rows of drip tape, 5 or 6 rows. We're going to do 6-inch spacing between the plants, between the rows, so however many I can get in there, and then fill it up with onions. naturally. It's rained the last 3 days. This stuff's heavy and wet. But I gotta take a break, go grab my rake, and then I'll get back with you. Spread this out. Alright. Got my rake, spread this out. See how far it goes. Well, I gotta at least more than another half a tractor scoopful to use, so if we don't use it all here, which I don't think we will, I'll pile it up and that'll go in one of these garden plots with some more that I get come springtime. In, see what we got. The goal is to get at least 4 or 5 inches of compost on top of that natural soil, or at least the natural ground level, and then we'll build some lines. I'll get to that point and then we'll get to doing some irrigation lines. Got about enough, as much as I'm going to get of that on there without actually having a raised bed. My goal is to go to all in ground, at least in this area. I got probably a solid 3 to 4 inches on top of what was already there. I'm going to use my rake to make some lines down. I'm going to follow those lines to put drip tape in, and then I'm going to plant the onions right on top of that line in the dirt. So you'll see me make some lines. I got some old drip tape I'm going to use. I'm going to have to line up, measure up, cut up, and reattach, and it'll be a process. Bear with me. I'm new at this YouTube thing. It's the first time using a tripod. I'm waiting on a microphone, so soon you'll be able to hear me a little bit better, and maybe I'll get a little more comfortable with this. So bear with me. Might not be the perfect lines, but it's something. This drip tape from dripdepot.com. You can order it in big rolls. This is the 6-inch emitter spacing. I believe 0.75 gallons per hour. Don't quote me, but I believe that's per emitter. You can see in the line there's little holes every 6 inches. I believe you can order it in 12-inch spacing too, and at smaller rate per gallon an hour. You want to watch where you cut on these, so you don't actually cut in between your emitter. So about 1/2 inch on each side. It's kind of a hard spot, so you want to make sure you leave enough room there to be able to put your fitting in there. You'll also, if you're using used line, you're gonna have to test it and keep an eye out for spots that might have bends, cranks, or cuts in them. You'll want to test them out, make sure they're good, or you're gonna be leaking and cussing and redoing a line after the fact. It's already got a plug on the end. Got those cut. I also got 2 used sections here that I believe have some holes in them. This side might not. I know that one does. If I can avoid using plugs to plug those holes from last time up, I will. But I'll line this up down on the other end there where I'm going to be plugging in my hose to. And then we'll have to pop some holes in the line using a little crimp tool, a little hole punch tool. This one don't have any holes in it yet. I'm going to need that. Already got my female end for my hose. It's got a little rubber grommet in there. For some reason this hose I ordered, you can't get the other piece over the end of that, but it stays on there pretty snug. It's kind of hard to get on there, but on this end we'll put a closed side, and you can open it up so you can hook up your hose and flush out your lines if your emitters are getting clogged or you don't have water coming out of one. I believe you can actually hook up a female hose to that side too if you needed to for whatever reason. So I put closing side on there, stick this side in there, as far as we can. Yeah, this is the part that doesn't seem to want to go over that. I think last time I had to cut some of that off, but I'm not doing that today. We'll get it on there as snug as I can, see if it works. If not, I'll come back with the snips out later. Now I got this little tool here. It's got kind of a sharp end on there. You just press up where you want to line your drip tape up with and pop some holes in there and connect it in. Drip tape, we use these, slide on there, put your drip tape in there, make it snug, and those will pop in these holes that we cut. Got those popped in there. Now I'm gonna go through, they got two different styles of ends you can put on these. And you can use that style, pop your line on there, screw it over the line. Or you can use this side. You fold it over, pop it through, and it kind of acts as a crimp.
Short, so I don't want to fold it and lose extra space. I use this stuff. That already had one on it, so.
And I guess it'll be a test. I'll put one on the end there, an onion on the end there. I'm getting less water than what the rest of it will get. I'll see how good or bad it does compared to the others that are getting regularly watered. I'm gonna go through these lines, kind of tuck it down in the row a little bit, tuck that drip tape down in there. I don't want it sitting on soil level. And another reminder is those emitters, you always want to plant those to where they're facing up. Wet the soil up and go down around it. So we got that part down. Got the irrigation done and ready. I'll end up getting an inline filter for that one. I got it on my other two over there, but I'm gonna need one for each one that I do, each setup. Basically it's a reducer, an inline filter and a PSI reducer. Reduces the pressure down to 10 PSI so you don't blow out all your lines. Now I'm gonna plant some onions, spacing wise, 6 inches apart down each row. Then I'll kind of furrow them up a little bit. Might add a little more soil or compost. We'll see how it goes. I'd like that each bulb to be down at least an inch or two. Not too far, but I want it covered, and then I want the lines covered. And then I have some straw, kind of like in my garlic bed over there, that I'm gonna place over top of it for the winter time. Now, depending on how much you know about growing onions, which I'm pretty new at it. I'm pretty new at a lot of this, really. Down in Tennessee, lower Tennessee, down south of us into Georgia, Florida, you want to do short day onions. From about middle Tennessee, I believe, up to around the top of Kentucky, intermediate onions, and above that are long day onions. I got some from the local feed and seed, where I got the compost from. I get a lot of my chicken feed there and whatnot. They had a bushel full of them, so I got a pound of onion to start. I'm not sure what day they are, what type of day they are, but it's worth a shot. It's almost about to be almost Halloween. Tomorrow's Halloween, so I wanted to get these onions in the ground and get them set. And last year I got some from Walmart, some sets from Walmart. They did pretty good. We had so much rain that some of them kind of started to rot a little bit. So we'll see how it goes this year. There's our onion sets. Hopefully a pound will get us through this whole thing. It might not. I'm almost suspecting it to not. If I have to, I'll stop back up there tomorrow on the way home on the way to work, or on the way to work today actually. But we'll see how far it'll get us.
I'm gonna pull some off the ends of these other rows. Might not get as much. Might be a couple puny ones.
So all in all, I got 97 onions planted in those 5 rows. That last row had some smaller, puny looking ones, but who knows, they might grow up to be the biggest one. I'm gonna toss some dirt over those. If I feel like I need to add any more, I will. I think we should be all right, but we'll go from there. See. All right, 97 onions planted. Hopefully they do good. I gotta go unhook the trailer with this compost in it. Get some hay, well, some straw. Got some straw up there in the barn. And then lay some straw down. And it's rained so much. It's wet out. I got plenty of water for a couple days. I think it's supposed to rain Sunday too, so get a 2-day break and some more rain. That'll help them germinate and sprout and whatnot. And we'll see how they do. Till next time, thanks for watching.